He made his eyebrows a little too big. That might be a fun exaggeration that we can get away with. These eyebrows are naturally going to appear bigger because they're fur. All right, and then I always have to do the math on this. The other eyebrow, we want the hair to grow out that way. So I'm gonna draw that one on too. And then we'll cut these out.
So I'm going to first get this wire covered with glue. I'm just going to lay it inside like this. Okay. And I want to add a little bit of the iridescent to this just for a little extra pretty part on the top here. And I'm going to go back through with some more of the glue. Okay, I'm going to let it stick there. This stuff is ultra thick embossing enamel. It's used in like card making. So I'm going to add a little bit of this.
This is glitter.
This is glitter, yep. And I'm adding a little bit of the Angelina fibers, is what they're called. Now I actually don't want to put another top of the Angelina on it, but I want to be able to push it down and smooth everything together, so I'm going to just get a piece for it so I can use that to smooth everything in there without it sticking to my fingers. So now I'm going to take my heat gun and I want to grab this corner right here. Okay. So now I'm going to add some heat to it. That top piece will probably peel off, but that's okay. Okay. And then you can just decide how far you want to go. That actually is going to work well to keep that other layer on top. I'm going to leave that there this time. Okay, so this is kind of like your little base wing that's got some color added to it. And you can take scissors like we had. Now this part that was the powder, it actually turns into kind of like a plastic basically. It turns into a hard enamel. And so that is giving this a lot of, it's still flexible, but it's got stiffness.
But it gives, yeah.
Yeah, you've got a lot of stiffness going on there too. The tulle netting is great that it melts a little bit as you do this. And so it will give you these nice organic shapes. The only tricky part is trying to get your second wing to look as similar. And usually what I do is try to get the shapes, you know, I get them laid out together as
Now Mondo makers can get the best of Curious Mondo. More courses, more access, and deeper discounts. Club members get additional 20% off on every course you buy, including live courses. Replay pass for live courses. Yes, replays. Private screenings. Free unlimited access to fast track courses. 5% off on supplies at artmakersmakery.com. No contracts, so you can cancel at any time. This is an opportunity to you to support your favorite learning platform. Join the Mondo Club today at curiousmondo.com/club.
Now, another thing, now as I'm in
starting completion mode. The other thing that I'm noticing here is this is a very straight line. I almost want to give it a little bit more tinfoil here. Maybe if I turn it, oh, there we go, now we can see it. See, this is a very straight line. I want to give it just a little bit of a curve, just another little pile of tinfoil on there. And quite honestly, when I'm building a piece, these are the kinds of things that I do. And I think it's those little touches that, you know, really set apart. And if you're charging, you know, I'll charge $450 to, you know, for someone to buy this. So I want it to be nice. There, that's better. See, it's just loose right now. Just loose right now. Okay. And once we get the tape all on the head now, we'll totally be able to see what else needs to happen. And the tape and the head, the head and the neck, I have it more covered than the rest of the body.
So it's okay for some aluminum to show
Absolutely.
the body, not so okay with
Yeah, well, the thing is the reason why I like to have the head more covered is because that part is just more important. And I really want to see
Right.
if there's anything that's not quite right.
Would the medium and the textile stick to the foil? Or
Absolutely,
It does,
yeah. Like you could totally cover this,
And that would be
and
okay.
it would be fine. But the thing is I can't really see if I'm still happy with that, if I'm really happy with that yet. But once you put the tape on and tighten it up, then you can. And again, swinging it from both sides so that you're looking at it from both angles. This guy,
I was going to
he's
say,
just
he wants to move.
being, oh, there, okay.
So just going to roll out a very, very, very thin stripe of this. Trying to keep it uniform, just hard to do when it gets really skinny like that. And I'm just gonna put this all the way around the eye. It's your choice whether you want it to join at the outside of the eye or the inside of the eye. I've tried it both ways because I prefer that it looked like there was no seam at all, but I find that's really hard to do with a piece of clay this tiny. So if I do it at the inside corner of the eye, I feel like it looks more natural. If you can say that any of it looks natural. Okay, so there's one. Whoops, sorry, Froggy. And just gonna do the same thing with the other eye. And if you see that you have things are not blended in as well as you would like, don't worry too much about it. You'll have plenty of opportunities to go back and clean up and smooth things out. Okay. I cut that one a little short.
Welcome to Art Makers Bakery, where we strive to bring you the best tools and supplies for our hobbyists, artists, and makers at affordable prices. Won't you come join me to see what we have? We have a range of fiber arts. We include embroidery, needle felting, alcohol inks, where we can do scarves as well as pictures, just up to your creativity. We have paints, we have glass molds, we have all types of clay. We also have all of the little tools that go along with these. We have jewelry kits as well as helpful aids to help you create beautiful jewelry. And we also have kits. So if you're struggling with ideas or just want something easy that you can kind of dive into to see if that's something for you, we can help you get started. Come visit us at artmakersmakery.com.
Also, I'm going to take a little piece of clay and I am going to make a tiny body like this, see? And then take some more clay and make a very, very thin noodle. I'm gonna put it here so you can see it. A very, very thin noodle for the antlers. So I'm going to cut this about this size. Maybe it's too big, but and I'm going to make this a V shape. Remember the V shapes which we used for the body? You have a V shape kind of. And now I'm going to try to curl. Now see, I broke my. I'm going to try to curl this. And the other one too. Oopsie. You can try to do it here if you think it's easier. So something like that. And now I'm taking the body and I'm putting it on top of the antlers so that they stick to the body. So this is a very basic butterfly, just so you know. And then I'm just gonna put these two together, slightly touching each other in the middle. And then I'm going to add two more, like this. And I'm going to press this. And now I'm going to take all of this, all of this thingy that we have here, which is basically the wings, as I said, very basic wings. And I'm going to place it on the butterfly's body. Hey, I failed a little, but no problem.
Welcome to Art Makers Makery, where we have tools and supplies and kits to help you with your crafting needs. Today I thought I would share with you a few of the kits that we have available. So some of these kits are for needle felting, as you can see, and these kits come with everything that you need to try a small needle felting project to see if it's for you, or if you just want to practice and get back in the game. So we have a couple of owl options. We have a sleepy owl, a big-eyed owl, we have a sheep, we have others to choose from on our site. We also have a knitting and felting project where you can make a scarf. So you can combine your knitting and your needle felting skills in one. We have some crochet options as well as some other patterns for plush toys, and we have a wide variety to select from. So to give you an idea, we also have this cute little vintage camper pattern, and it comes with step-by-step on how to make these cute little hanging ornaments. You can use them as kitchen decorations, for a decorative tree idea. Only you know what creative ideas you can come up with. Come visit us at artmakersmakery.com, where we strive to provide the best tools and supplies for artists, hobbyists, and makers at the best prices. Thank you.
So I would go with 2 stem wires, and of course, it doesn't have to be too, well, you know that when you sell roses, you have, I don't know here in the States, but at least in Brazil, you have the long ones and the short ones, and that plays a factor in the price of the rose, because they can be very tall if you want, okay? But I'm going to just twist here and put some tape to hold them together. So I have 2 and I bent them. And now let's start. So you will start with the bud, right? The smallest one that is usually not open. It opens as the flower matures. I'm an open rose right now. So let's do it. So I go with the smallest one and I add to my, so this one we are going to put in the stem all the time. But I'm going to put, I have 2 of them. One is going to face the other, okay? And of course the wrong side goes on the inside, the one that you bent the wire.
Can you do a quick review of the rose?
Yes, in a second. And this one, if you want to add some tape just to help secure, it is a good idea, right? Because it's right at the beginning. Beginning is always finicky, so it just makes it easier for you to work, to keep working. Now, with the bud here, the petals are going to face each other, and they are going to face each other when you make them rounder, okay? And I tend to put them together because you kind of want that closed. Okay, so before I add the others, actually, I'm going to start adding the others and I'll tell you. And I'm sorry, I'm scratching my nose, but the glue...
It's the pollen.
No, pollen. It's the glue on the floral tape actually gives me allergies.
That's crazy.
So when I come with the next 2, so this is how I have right now, right? So there are 2 petals facing each other, but I do have a gap here. So the next 2, I'm going to fill the gap with them, okay? So I'm putting on one on one side and then the other on the other side. So let's go. I have A, B, C, D, E, 5 sizes, different sizes.
Is there
all
a calyx
of them,
for the rose? Sorry, didn't mean to
yeah,
interrupt.
you can make a calyx. I didn't make one, but you can. So you have 5 beads basic for all of them, and what varies is the number of rows. So A has 7 rows, and you do 2 petals.
You know what? I'm just gonna expand the grooves with this ball bear and just kind of go all around it with this ball bear. Even though it's a little larger than the grooves, I just kind of want to enlarge and get rid of all that shattering that happened when I was carving. A little harsher, as you can see those more bright cuts, bright marks on the glass. I just want to clean that up. I want to clean everything up. And you know what? Maybe as part of the design, you want to leave a satin finish instead of polishing it, just to create that contrast. So parts of it are a nice polish, and then other parts of it are, say, a dull satin finish like that, the natural sea glass look. And that helps expedite your process in a way. Okay, lost my glasses. Oh, there they are. Sorry, they're just like invisible. Okay. Here we go. Gonna start cleaning up the grooves in the area with my bit. I'm gonna go around it until everything kind of opens up with this bit, the ball bit. And again, I'm just trying to clean it up. I'm not staying in one spot. I'm not making divots in it. I want to make sure to consistently move my bits around so that they're not consistently just hitting one spot the entire time. And again, this is a longer process. The more grooves and the more spots you make to be able to carve, takes a little bit of time. Of refining and going around it. And the longer you take on the piece, the better it becomes, it seems. So don't feel bad if you get stuck on a piece, because you're trying to create the best possible outcome for it.
Hello, and welcome to Art Makers Makery, where we have supplies and tools and items for your crafting needs. I wanted to share with you a little bit about our embroidery section. This is fairly new for us, so I thought I would let you know what we have available. So we have a range of different types of threads, ranging from 100% cotton to 100% Egyptian cotton in a variety of colors. We have hoops ranging in different sizes, from the large to the small, and we also have a spring-loaded ring to help you adjust as you're going along with your project. We have a variety of different size needles, and we also have a 6-piece poke needle set that we just got in. And if you're not sure that you really want to delve into embroidery, we also have a kit available that has everything in it for you to get started, so you can try it, see if it's something that you like, introduce it to your kids, and go from there. So come visit us at artmakersmakery.com. That's www.artmakersmakery.com, where we strive to bring you the best tools and supplies for hobbyists, artists, and makers at affordable prices. Thank you.
So when you are fusing something like this, you have to think about what it's going to look like when it's finished, because it's no longer a two-dimensional thing where you have a top and then the back, right? You have two sides, you have a left side and a right side. So you have to think about, how do you put those things together and paint those things so that your mic ends up in the right place. So you put them together and then you just do this. Okay. We're going to do 2 wings, but we're only going to paint the outside of the wings because they fold down against the rooster, and so he doesn't need paint on the underneath side. So we'll do the tops. We are doing both sides of the feathers, so we'll do the same thing as the body. We'll position them. This is how they would be when they're fused. And so we would open them. So we paint the outside, right?
A question from someone.
Okay.
Do you wash your glass before firing?
I do, and I washed all of this before I brought it here. So that's why you didn't see me wash it today. And we will look at a piece that's been fused and see how dirty it is when it comes out of the kiln, because it definitely gets dusty. but I figured you guys really didn't want to watch me clean glass. So
you basically position it where you would put.
well, I do just because it helps me remember. You don't have to, of course, but the key thing there is to make, to know like what's on the outside. So we're not painting the feet so they can stay over there for the moment. Let's see. Okay. So this guy has on his wings, here, we'll put him down here so you can,
We'll use them as a reference.
we'll use him as reference and you can see, oh, so I did switch out. This is an example of that opaque glass that doesn't fuse very well. Oh, we can, is he in there?
Yeah, it's good.
He's good.
Just gonna move it.
Okay. So mixing this is red ice.
The discussion yesterday about art yarn was talking about, can't remember who it was that asked about weaving yarn into a basket. This is, it's kind of thick and thin. If you can see the thickness here.
And it varies, yeah.
And it varies. It gets thinner here. Now, if you spin wool, you can do this yourself. Or you can, you might be able to get a friend who spins to do it for you. Or you can buy it this way. So I have a very long piece. And I have put the ends together and I've looped it just like I did with the Xing down here. Now, if you had just a thinner yarn, you might want to start it in two pieces so that the starting doesn't really show. But with yarn, I have found that it doesn't matter because you can push it down and hide where it starts. So this is just regular twining. So I'm gonna loop it down over a spoke.
So are you saying I don't have to just use reed?
No.
I can get creative?
Oh my goodness. Well, in this basket we have reed, we have seagrass with our tie twining. We're gonna add some yarn in there. You can weave paper, you can weave natural materials such as pine needles. That's another element. When someone asked me about tie twining on the outside, and I did forget to mention pine needles. So you can put them in like bunches. You can also use just anything. If you live in an area where you have a lot of yard waste and like from the palm trees and things, you can get pretty creative with what you're weaving in. You also, in smaller baskets, might want to weave in wire. It adds
I have a question for you. Have you ever thought about being a power pole instructor? If not, it's time to think about your certification process. Yeah, here on our platform, we have the right course for you to become a power pole instructor. So I want to talk to you about 3 things today. The first one, when you start your power pole certification process, you have to create your own piece. Today, here on my table, I have some examples of projects that you can do using power pole. For example, this little bug here, they for sure used power pole to create this. And then all the technique that they use, you learn and create your own. I'm using this one just an example, but you will create your own project, okay? So after you create your own project and have all your questions answered, then you jump to the best part, that it's learning how to teach, right? You have to learn how to help others to learn the same process that you did. And the last but not least, you have to learn how to market your business, how to promote your business, how to promote your classes. After that, you will be ready to go and inspire other artists through your project, through your art.
The next thing we're going to work on is repairing cracks. Now, you'll always get cracks in a piece or something that you might want to fix after the piece has dried. So last night, after I talked with you all day yesterday, last night I put this guy under the fan in here in the other room and he dried. Now, as things dry, as clay dries, remember, clay shrinks. So things are going to lift. Things are going to get smaller and tighter, and sometimes things separate from one another. Remember, clay has a memory too. So when I add this wing on, it's going to be shrinking one way, and the head's going to be shrinking another way, and the toes are going to be shrinking smaller and inward. So that's what causes the cracks. Most often you'll get cracks where the joints are because the clays are shrinking in different directions, and so it's nothing to worry about. It's nothing you're doing wrong. That's just the nature of the beast. But the nice thing is we can repair these. Unlike regular clay, if you get a crack in your pot when it's drying, it's done. You can't fix it for the most part. I mean, some people have their little magic waves. That's when I used to slap a flower on things before when ceramics were my bread and butter. However, with these pieces and with this clay, you can repair it. So you don't even have to worry about things. So I've noticed that right away, all these cracks here on the toes happened. These are not loose yet, but they would be without much time. And also, you remember when I told you the toes tend to lift? And I don't want that look. It looks like a ski or something. So I don't want that look. So what I do is I just take this and I break it. I break it even more. This one doesn't have much of a break, but I'm going to show you something else that's happened since it's dried. And I'm not worrying about those. Remember now, look how rocky it is today. Actually, just to get it out of the way, I'm taking this off because there's a crack all the way up so you can see a little bit better. If you notice that because of the clay shrinking, what happens oftentimes is the rebar that's here underneath starts to stick out. Now it doesn't look like it's sticking out far, but it's sticking out far enough that it's going to make your piece tip. So I don't do anything until I'm done doing all my patching before I fix the bottom, because otherwise what happens is as you're working on it, it just starts spreading out and squirting out the bottom, and then you have to pack it back in because it comes uneven again. So I wait till I'm done and then repair the bottom. And
Melissa, no, there's no way this could work.
It won't, because obviously if it works, other people would have done it.
Yeah, no, it's a really silly idea, and I don't even know why we were talking about it.
I don't know. Like, whose idea was it?
I don't know. Wait a minute, did we actually do it?
Oh, wait. We did do it.
You mean we took puppetry and fiber art and put it together in the same workshop?
Oh, yeah, we did. What?
But they have nothing to do with each other.
They really don't.
Wow.
So...
But somehow it kind of works.
Yeah, and we made it work, Barry. I think it was us that made it work.
Yeah. So join us for our class on putting the zing in amazing animal puppets. You'll learn secrets of foam rubber puppet construction
and how to needle felt a costume for your puppet or a mask for yourself. You learn so many techniques between he and I on our different styles, and you will be blown away.
No, we really this didn't work, did it?
It really did. I think they're telling us it did. We filmed it.
Okay. I can't wait to see it myself.
Me
I still
too.
don't believe it.
I don't know
was
how
there
we
when
did
it
it. I
happened.
don't know how we
It's amazing to me. Yeah. I'm going to go watch it right now.
It's a good idea. Oh, bye, Barry. I'll just take these home with me.
Wait, come with.
Where was
There. I'm Jody McCraney-Rusho from Glass with a Past, and I'm here at Curious Mondo Studios today to tell you about an upcoming class that I'm teaching, and I hope that you will join me. We'll be fusing coral reefs, and we will be using images taken from my own diving experiences and building out fused glass coral reefs with fish and coral and kelp, octopi and shrimp, seahorses, and everything you can imagine. We will be working simultaneously, making each design in both recycled glass and in System 96. So no matter what kind of glass you use for your fusing projects, we have something for you. So please make sure that you put it on your calendar, register now, and I will see you under the sea.
So I'm so thrilled to have this class being filmed so because I can show this in a workshop, but I can't really show it in a book that easily. Okay, so I'm just going to start cutting away around. I'm going to go all the way around my piece like this. And this is how I do all of them. So you could also use this technique for like when you're doing grasses or the foreground of something that's like if my bird was in a grassy field, it's just kind of, see, I'm going to start like really cutting away into the edges, pushing down, because again, you don't want that kind of cookie cutter look. You want it to go back into the board because it is a little more realistic looking. Go all the way around. There was a slide there that had some eggs in the nest. Well, a couple of them did, but I kind of like the one that had the blue eggs in the nest. I don't know if you can find that guy again. Help me see it too. Okay, and then now that I've gone around one direction, I'm going to go the other direction.
Is that the one that?
Yeah, there you go. See the eggs? The goal here is to create a center. And once, also, when we're done, I'll show you that part. Lifting that edge, stuffing some clay under there so it really comes out in the front. So I'm going to show you how to do the nest, and then if we still have a little bit of time, I'll show you how to do some eggs.
So this cutter was a little bigger than the last one, right?
Yes, the next size up.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna stick that there. That's kind of huge, but let me see. I don't know, I kind of like it though. I think I might like that. I'm gonna leave it. And you could texture that too. I just left it plain, but we could add, let's add some texture to it just to be different. I'm gonna, let's see, move it back here to the center so you can see. So I'm just gonna roll over it with this screw and then roll over it the other way so that I have kind of like a hatch mark. And then I'm gonna punch it out again because
It increased a little.
Yeah. You don't have to do this. I just like there to be a little something extra on the under the eye. And I want the other eye to peek out over the top of his head, so I'm going to cut out another circle out of the orange. Oops, wrong size. Okay. Okay, so now to do the eye, I want each eye to have kind of like a concentric circles running through it. So if you take the circle cutters in all of the lower sizes and just one at a time, just go. Just try to center them as well as you can.
So that's very light. You're really not cutting that.
No,
right?
no. You don't want, in fact, you definitely don't want to cut them because you're going to have to kind of bend this over the eye. This is just, they always have those like googly eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Scientific term. Okay. How are we doing for time? Are we doing okay?
We have 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh, we're not doing fine.
We're always good on time. So why you're making 2 of them? I didn't get that.
Okay, well, I'm making 2 of them just because it's easier for me to make 2, but this one's going to get cut into a sliver and you're only going to see a tiny little bit of it. But to me, it's just easier to, rather than trying to make it small. Okay, and then the last one, when you get to the center of the eye, you go ahead and punch out the hole.
Hello, Mondo Makers. Thank you so much for being with us. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, like our Facebook page, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to share with your family and friends our content. Scan the code on the screen and join us on social media. Bye.
Okay, so let's bring in a little detail in the eyes. I know that's what everybody wants to see, and I'll get both eyes started. I want to look at it straight up. I want to make sure I have them level. So the tear ducts level. It's another thing I noticed. I want to bring that one up a little bit and this one down a little bit. A little Picasso going on there. If anybody knows that reference, put it on the Facebook page. What's the reference with Picasso and eye levels? So I'm going to get the darkest dark on both eyes, which is the pupil. And then I'm going to take that color and blend it out to the edge. Leave a slight highlight in the secondary eye. I think I want to make that just a little bigger. This is the fun part to watch, is when the features start to come into play, and I'm just using my value study as the guide. There's a slight highlight there in the whites of the eye, and then there's a dark right there, and I want that all to be soft, so I'm going to blend it. On this eye, I want it all to be soft. And I like that highlight on the top of her lid. So I'm going to come down just a little bit further and catch that puffy. I mean, when we're tired, that gets real puffy, that area under the lid, or in spring. It gets puffy, and for me anyway, if you have allergies, that gets real puffy under there in that lower lid. Okay, and I do want to hint at her lashes with kind of a dark line. So I'm going into the red and the blue just to get dark. I'm going to hint at her lashes, and I'm going to blend it right into that eye. Okay, so that's the left eye. And I want to blend this dark out and make this all really indistinct. I'm probably touching this a little too much for my taste. In once and out.
And the kind of is it a stain, did you say?
That's a dye. This is a water-based gel dye called Gel Antique. And it's my favorite to work with. Whereas most stains or dyes are an alcohol base, this one right here comes off your skin a bit better, and it goes on a bit more, what you call it, more evenly. Yeah.
So Jen asks, is this leather dye, specifically leather dye?
Yes, specifically leather dye. However, you can use leather dye for quite a bit.
Barbara wants to know if you'll be covering how to make a sword.
A sword? Possibly. Probably not today. I would need a lot more tools with that because I would be using a grinder, I'd be using a belt sander, and then some metal bits. So maybe we'll have to take a field trip to my shop and set up a camera there and catch me in action.
Possibly an upcoming course.
Yeah. So I switched to a sponge because I forgot I had so many different divots. Now a sponge, since it reaches, I can get that material on there and then push in, and then it'll saturate the piece enough to get all that.
How much dye are you actually putting there? Like a lot, or?
Not a ton. I just kind of dip it through and then brush it right on. And then we see how the topical stuff has turned brown, but that isn't. So then I push down hard, and you can see how I was talking about earlier, where those pieces go a little darker. Anywhere that's been gouged immediately goes darker. So anywhere that you have your aging, your grooves and all that good stuff, you'll want to press harder on there to force that media into the piece. Usually you wear gloves. I tend not to because I'm a bit of a savage, and you know, I just go around with like brown fingertips all day. Not that it affects my social life or my romance life. Mm-hmm. It probably does. That would explain a few things. Now, since this is like a saturation method, that means the more dye you use, the darker you're going to go.
Hey, Curious Mondo fans, thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, check out the other videos in the channel for some fabulous tips